नमस्कार फ्रेंड्स। लोकतंत्र का तीसरा पिलर न्यायपालिका, जो अपने आप में एक मजबूती के साथ पूरे देश में, पूरी दुनिया में अपनी लोकतंत्र को बचाने, संविधान की व्याख्या करने और संविधान के उन सभी पहलुओं को लोकतंत्र में पार्टिसिपेट करने वाले सभी व्यक्तियों तक पहुंचाने का जिम्मा रखती है। आज उन सब विषयों को ध्यान में रखकर आज फोर्थ रीजनल कॉन्फ्रेंस ऑन इशू ऑफ रिमांड बेल एंड जुरिस्प्रूडेंस के ऊपर एक बड़ी कार्यशाला का आयोजन किया गया, जिसमें खासकर उन पहलुओं को टच करने की, उन पहलुओं को डिस्क्राइब करने की कोशिश की गई, जिसमें ये बताने का कि हमारे सोसाइटी के अपग्रेडेशन के लिए कानून का पालन, कानून के साथ किए हुए कार्य या कानून में व्याख्या किए हुए उन सभी पहलुओं को कैसे यंगस्टर्स तक पहुंचाई जाए। के रांची उच्च न्यायालय के जस्टिस और जो जुडिशियरी से जुड़े हुए हमारे पूर्वी सिंहभूम और पश्चिमी जजेस ने जो बातें रखी, वो अपने आप में बहुत ही काबिले तारीफ है और एक माइलस्टोन बन रहा है। जिस तरह से लोगों में पब्लिक इंटरेक्शन हुआ, लोगों ने सवाल किए और जुडिशियरी या उससे संबंधित अधिकारियों ने ऑन डैश उनको जवाब दिया, तो इन सभी चीजों को एक बेहतर परंपरा मानते हुए एक कानून और कानून के साथ कानून के पालन करने वाले और कानून जिनके ऊपर लागू किया जाता है या कानून जिनके लिए बनाई जाती है, उन सब लोगों के बीच एक आपस में सामंजस्य बैठाने का काम हुआ। और अमृतकाल, जो कि भारत का आजादी का 100वां वर्ष पूरा होने जा रहा है, उसके लिए भी एक बहुत ही बेहतर प्लेटफॉर्म तैयार हो रहा है। तो जुडिशियरी में भी हम जागरूक हैं और जागरूकता जुडिशियरी को एक मजबूत आधार स्तंभ देती है, हमें न्याय को लोगों तक पहुंचाने का, न्याय के साथ साथ उस न्याय से संबंधित उन सभी पहलुओं की जानकारी और अवेयरनेस लोगों तक पहुंचाने का आज जो ये कॉन्फ्रेंस आहूत किया गया है, ये बहुत ही बेहतर है। और ऐसे कार्यक्रम और ऐसे कॉन्फ्रेंसेस जो कानून या कानून से संबंधित बातों को आम जन तक पहुंचाने की कोशिश करता है, इंडिया टीवी ऑनलाइन उसे प्रमोट करती है। इंडिया टीवी ऑनलाइन उसे प्रमोट करती है। तो आइए देखते हैं उन सभी पहलुओं को जो आज चर्चा में रहे।
Without medical leaves of pregnancy, one medical doctor's medical opinion is sufficient, and between 20 and 24 weeks, two medical doctors' opinion is sufficient to go ahead with a medical termination of pregnancy. But even now, medical doctors are demanding either a police requisition or they demanding a judicial requisition. This is not applicable. This cannot be upheld by the law. Beyond 24 weeks, if a person wants to terminate the pregnancy, then you have to approach the High Court to get through a writ petition, and the High Court will get a medical board to examine the child, and accordingly, the High Court can pass orders whether to terminate the pregnancy or not. But other than the High Court or the Supreme Court, other courts and especially the Child Welfare Committee cannot pass orders on medical termination of pregnancy. Convergence between stakeholders. Again, Jharkhand has been a state where convergence of key stakeholders: police, DALSA, medical officers, CWC, and support persons. 5 डिवीजन में झारखंड में कन्वर्जेंट मीटिंग्स हुआ है, जिसकी वजह से एक दूसरे का चैलेंजेस समझ पाए हैं। हमेशा पुलिस बोलते हैं कि CWC अपना काम नहीं करता, अगर आप हॉस्पिटल जाते हैं वो बोलते हैं कि पुलिस अपना काम नहीं कर रहे, बहुत टाइम जाते हैं और देख कर आते हैं। बट these convergent meetings which were held at the divisional level brought a lot of understanding between stakeholders.
We are running short of the special educators in town, certainly at schools, ma'am. this movie, oh my God, yesterday, and I was really impressed. We Indians have spoken, written, talked, and experienced something called Kama Sutra in the ages and century, where in the 13th century, people couldn't even imagine of that. Today, why are we so close to educating our children on sex, ma'am? Because I personally felt that, yes, even grade 7 and 8 children are indulging in sex. When I say sex, it is a proper intercourse. There is the availability of condoms, the contraceptive pills, the abortion pills. Children are exposed to so many things, including Netflix and social media, that nothing, it's horrendous, ma'am, and it is very difficult. I come across such cases on a daily basis. I need your help, suggestions, and advice as to how to go about this.
Thank you very much for that. First, your first point was where can you get the resource of special educators? I can assure you, although Karnataka is considered to be an evolved state, we struggle with the number of special educators we have. Despite having NIMHANS in Karnataka, in Bangalore, we don't have enough special educators. This is a cadre that needs to be built up by the state, but your district child protection units, every single district in Jharkhand has a DCPU, or the district child protection unit. They're required to maintain a directory of special educators, interpreters, translators. With your assistance in your own district, if you can work with your DCPU, give the name of one person, and maybe slowly that can become a movement where you have more and more people signing up to assist children and families.
I would like to interrupt you here for a moment. And we have been working with this NGO. Time and now, several times, hundreds of times I have proposed this to the administration, to the schools. Why is it that schools cannot conduct such seminars?
I'll come to that.
Yes.
That was your next question. Your second question was about why do we not have comprehensive sexuality education for children in schools? As a culture, I know you spoke about Kama Sutra, but as a culture, India has now become very, very awkward about sexuality, about personal safety. We don't talk about it with our own children. Forget about children in society. It is a slow process. To bring about change in society does not happen very soon. But movies, mainstream movies like OMG 2 will definitely pave the path, and children are being exposed to sexuality, and also, like you mentioned, children have access to information online. I'd much rather my child get information from me than get it from an online platform. But as a parent, if I'm not comfortable to speak to my child about it, then probably the child will have to resort to an online mode or get information from peers. Maybe us talking more about movies like OMG within our own homes. If we can bring the change about within our own homes, slowly this will. I would tell my child, speak to 3 children in your class. But in the school, if my child were to go around talking about this, my child would be expelled from school. Say you're teaching other children to have sex. This is a big concern. I can see some of the young people here behind nodding and agreeing with what I'm saying. But this change that you're hoping for is going to take at least another 10-15 years, but it will happen. I'm sure
Has been talked about the transgenders, about the school. Certainly, ma'am, will play a very important role. With this discussion, I only mean the gist of my discussion is that, ma'am, if we could make this mandatory, if we could make this part of the curriculum as just mentioned, in schools, because schools play a very, very important.
absolutely, ma'am. And it was
and reading. The topic today is of seminal importance because of all rights that is enjoyed by a human being, the right to liberty is the most important. During my tenure as a judge, both as a child as well as a high court judge, I interacted with many persons who are going imprisonment, either as under trial prisoner or as a convict, because I have visited many jails to see the conditions. And from their perspective, even a convicted felon realizes that they take the personal liberty for granted and do something very criminally.
But that the moment the FIR has been instituted, a fear is come in the mind of the accused person that now that the police. So the police personnel along with the judicial officer, it is a requirement to build up a confidence among the accused person that no, as per the statutory requirement and as under section 41A, the notice under section 41A will be issued. So there is no apprehension of any arrest, then the person concerned will certainly appear before the police personnel, he will cooperate with them, and that fear of being arrested will go. So that a confidence is to build up by the police personnel after issuance of notice, but even after issuance of notice within 2 weeks and the remainder, if there is no cooperation, certainly an application is to be filed before the concerned magistrate for remand. So that is to be seen fact to fact. That is the issue of remand that I am only saying the introductory, leaving apart to the resource person to elaborate this issue. Therefore, second issue comes that the issue of bail. So bail, that you all know that bail is 437 CRPC, 438 anticipatory bail, 439 regular bail under the CRPC of that offences.
And can cloud our judgment. So this is in the handbook on combating gender stereotypes issued by the Honorable Supreme Court, and this is a very recent, I think this was August or July of this year. This is available online. Please look it up. A lot of effort has gone into that, and like I mentioned, it's not only for the legal fraternity, it's for everybody. Some of the things that we say, we expect that women magistrates will be more sensitive to responding to a child. That's not true. We've seen so many extremely sensitive male magistrate, male police officers in their interaction with children. They are as empathetic, if not more. And on the other hand, we've seen Mahila police stations where the women officers are not necessarily very empathetic. So we have to break away from the classical mindset that women perform certain roles and men perform certain roles. We have to move away from that. And there was a question recently about the women wrestlers, about how they have come forward to register this complaint. Was it even true? Cannot the wrestlers protect themselves?
Unfortunately, this case also comes from our high court, our state, where the session judge as well as the high court has refused the bail in a case involving 498A, that is section 4 of the DPA. The honorable court is presided by Justice S. Ravindra Bhatt and Justice Arvind Kumar has directed that the High Court should, in terms of the earlier judgments passed by the Supreme Court, the Anish Kumar and Satyendra Reddy, and also a judgment which is passed much earlier than Anish Kumar, the Siddharth Shatalingappa Mahatre, yes, I think there is the citation, versus state of Maharashtra. The appropriate guidelines in the shape of notification be issued, and an affidavit has to be filed before the Honorable Supreme Court. Just yesterday, the committee of the High Court approved the guidelines. It is being circulated among all of you, all the candidates, with the direction to bring it to the notice of all the trial judges and magistrates, so that they can follow the directions given by the Supreme Court. And what I mean to say that why should we pass such an order which is definitely going against the tenor of the statute as well as the ratio decided by the Honorable Supreme Court in different cases like Anish Kumar and Satyendra Reddy, so that the Supreme Court has to give a direction to us to circulate the judgment and also circulate the notification by the High Court. Now we hope and trust, because we have already given an affidavit.
Shepur to please present a book to our guest speaker, Shri Jayant Barowalia. congratulate Governor Chief Justice and honorable judges of the High Court and the organizers of this conference to hold this conference to sensitize all the stakeholders in the implementation of this NDPS Act. Drugs and drugs. Every day we hear in television and read in newspapers that huge quantity of narcotic drug or psychotropic substance has been recovered from one part or the other in the country. These activities and all this is planned. So many governments have been overthrown by gangs of smugglers, like the case of Cambodia. We have example of Cambodia where the governments are being overthrown time and again by drug lords. Friends, why these smugglers are indulging in this activity? Because the margin of profit is too much. The guy sitting in his drawing room while the transportation of one consignment from one place to the other. That's the margin of profit. Here, I will only share one typical example. This Mr. Sanji Mohan, he was director of the Narcotic Control Bureau at Chandigarh. And we had been delivering lecture together in many judicial and other conferences on narcotics because he was holding a charge of 5 states and NCB agency. And one fine morning, we read a news in the newspaper that he has been caught with a huge quantity of heroin in Bombay. That money, lust for money, made him a criminal. He took that heroin, which was most probably lying in the Palkhana, and so that he can earn money from Bombay. The other example is, let me finish, then I will come to that. So friends, second portion is right to speedy trial. That may be better statutory armor in the cases of crime than long clauses of penal provisions containing complex exceptions and provisos. So all the stakeholders.
The investigating agency, it finds corroborative evidence that the driver was a telephonic conversation with some of those accused persons who have made. What will be the evidentiary value of that corroborative evidence regarding that he was a telephonic conversation while doing the crime?
In the name of the drivers, those drivers are owners.
Putting specific query, what will be the evidentiary value of telephonic conversation? Because the only evidence available is that driver had talked to them. The contents of their conversation cannot be unearthed. So can the person be convicted only on the basis of the fact that driver was in touch with that person?
Sir, actually in such cases, the technology should be, we should use that in many states, they have started using these mobile phones. They are detecting with whom the driver has talked, which telephones he has used, from which telephone he has received the calls, and with that chain, they have reached to the kingpin also sometimes. Otherwise, if proper investigation is done, and those call details and everything is taken down, then we can arrest that kingpin and he can be acquitted, or he can be made a witness in that case. That driver can become the witness in that case, but it depends on the investigation, how it is being carried out.
Any contraband has been recovered, why it will not be treated to be that compliance of section 50? It has been clarified that unless the body will be searched and anything will be found from the body of the concerned person, then only the requirement of section 50 is required. that has been clarified in Constitution when they talked about this. And it is also yesterday, it has been clarified by the two judges in the case of Ranjan Kumar Chadda.
लड़का भागने लगता है ड्रग्स लेकर के, ब्राउन शुगर खास करके कम क्वांटिटी में होता है, तो सर उस परिस्थिति में फेंक देता है, तो सर सीजर का वो सेक्शन 50 का फिर कंप्लायंस कैसे होगा? जब हम लड़के को पकड़ लिए और वो तो बाहर फेंक दिया, तो डज इट रिक्वायर सेक्शन 50 का कंप्लायंस?
सीजर पे?
हाँ सर।
रिगार्डिंग सीजर
सर
सो
पर्सनल सर्च से पहले मैं फेंक के भाग गया सर, तो क्या उसमें सेक्शन 50 का कंप्लायंस करना आवश्यक है? या सर 50 क्लॉज 5 उसमें चलेगा सर एनडीपीएस का?
वेल
So that under section 100 of CRPC we can seize the material.
Well, there are certain problems. Friends, I can tell you, there are 14 agencies under the central government and almost 14 agencies under the state government which have been empowered to take action under the NDPS Act. But my experience has shown that more than 80% cases are only being handled by the police. Even NCB, which is the nodal agency and specially created for this purpose, their contribution is only 5 to 10% of cases. No doubt their cases are very foolproof, but only 5 to 10%. Other workload is all given to the police, which is already overburdened. As far as the seizure search is concerned and sampling is concerned, please go through 2022 rules. अभी नए रूल आए 2022 में, उनको आप पढ़ लीजिए। गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया के रूल्स आए हैं 2022 में, बिल्कुल क्लियर किया है हाउ सीजर सर्च एंड सैम्पलिंग इज टू डन। अर्लियर द notification was there.
1989 notification was there.
Then there is no need for, I think that there is no need for compliance of section 50. Because it is recovered, there is evidence that he has thrown it, and it is recovered after it, from the place from where he has thrown. So it cannot be said that it has been recovered from his personal possession. So there is no need for compliance of section 50 as far as my understanding is.
But sir, there is
Whether if a person is being chased and he throws the contraband on the road, before he is searched, how will the compliance of section 50 be completed? He was not about asking about different agencies.
That's a very relevant question. If he throws the contraband before this search is conducted. So friend, what happened? This section 50 amendment, subsection 4 and 5, how they were added. I had a personal experience. The IO came to me when I was district sessions at Kullu and Manali Session Division, in charge of that. Then IO came, he said, sir, in this case, I was taking the accused taking the person to the nearest magistrate or the gazette officer to take search, and in the way he threw the packet in the river, from where I should now get the recovery done. Then this amendment has been done, and if there is any such apprehension, that immediately the search can be conducted, immediately. And if he has thrown it, then videograph it. Now you have the videography. You can do the videography. If he is throwing it, you have videograph and bring it. Because now the scientific, this technological development is so much कि आपके पास इतना कुछ है। जब हमारे टाइम में क्या था, जब हमने
Suppose an accused person has died, and what will happen? So it is that hypothetical question we have to go in detail, custodial interrogation, link is to be get through from where it has come. If it will succeed, it will succeed. Nothing. investigating
सेशन था जो बहुत बर्निंग टॉपिक आज का है, रिमांड, बेल
पॉक्सो रिलेटेड इश्यूज और एनडीपीएस इशूज। रिमांड कैसे करना है, रिमांड कब करना है, रिमांड अगर कानून सम्मत है कि नहीं है, कंप्लायंस हुआ है कि नहीं हुआ है, अरेस्टिंग का ज़रूरत है कि नहीं, इसी पर डिलीवरेशन आज का हुआ। दूसरा, बेल में क्या पैरामीटर्स होना चाहिए, क्योंकि आज का समय में जो भी सुप्रीम कोर्ट का आदेश आया है और जो आर्टिकल 21 बोलता है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया कि बेल इज रूल, जेल इज एक्सेप्शन, उस पर डिलीवरेशन हुआ। पॉक्सो में कैसे इन्वेस्टिगेशन करना है, बच्चे के इंटरेस्ट को कैसे सिक्योर करना है, उसमें कैसे हम लोग को कन्विक्शन रेट को बढ़ाना है, उस पर डिलीवरेशन हुआ। एनडीपीएस में डिलीवरेशन हुआ, कैसे अच्छा से इन्वेस्टिगेशन करें, जिसमें भी जो भी कल्प्रिट हैं उनको हम लोग जस्टिस सिस्टम में लाएं और अधिक से अधिक कन्विक्शन हो, जिससे कि ये जो नासूर है, ड्रग एडिक्ट्स है, जो सोसाइटी का किलर है, उसको हम लोग चेक कर पाए। इसी पर डिलीवरेशन था। इसी हो उससे नहीं होगा, रूट में जाएंगे, रूट में पकड़ाएगा तभी इसका हम लोग कुछ इसमें चेक कर सकते हैं।
सर, ये पब्लिक कंसर्न इशू है और ये इशू बहुत ही ज़्यादा मोटिवेट करता है यंगस्टर्स को, खासकर एनडीपीएस में जो मामला था। तो इसको सर अवेयरनेस के लिए का एकेडमी और इस तरीके से
उसी के लिए प्रोग्राम किया गया जिससे कि लोगों को अवेयरनेस आए। इसलिए हम लोगों ने इस स्कूल में प्रोग्राम किया कि बच्चे लोग में आए, एक बच्चे जाके फिर 10 बच्चे को बोलें कि इसके क्या क्या हानियाँ हैं, कैसे चेक करना है
जी।
और अब जैसे अभी एक टॉपिक उठा कि डिस्ट्रिक्ट पुलिस करता है, नारकोटिक कंट्रोल ब्यूरो है, वो नहीं आते हैं, उस पर भी हम लोग डिलीवरेशन कर रहे हैं कि एनसीबी क्यों नहीं इसमें आया, क्योंकि एनसीबी का ये रैकेट विद इन स्टेट नहीं, इंटर स्टेट है। तो स्टेट अगर जमशेदपुर पुलिस है रांची जाएगा, लेकिन जमशेदपुर का पुलिस पंजाब जाके रेड नहीं कर सकता, इसलिए एनसीबी बना है कि एनसीबी इंटर स्टेट अक्रॉस द कंट्री उसको इन्वेस्टिगेशन कर सकता है। उस पर भी डिलीवरेशन कर रहे हैं, तो उसमें देखते हैं फिर कैसे होता है, क्योंकि झारखंड में एनसीबी बहुत ही अधिक इफेक्टिव नहीं है।
सर, एक कंबाइंड एफर्ट है जो सबको मिलकर इस तरीके का अवेयरनेस बार बार करने की आवश्यकता है।
हाँ, हम लोग कोशिश कर रहे हैं, कर ही रहे हैं। रांची में भी होता है, जमशेदपुर की है, और जितने भी दूर दराज इलाके हैं वहाँ भी हम लोग कर रहे हैं, करेंगे उसको, जिससे लोग को अवेकनिंग आए और ये लोग को अपने से समझ में आए कि हम लोग को इसका यूज नहीं करना है। रोकने से नहीं होता है, जब तक यहाँ से नहीं रुकेगा तब तक नहीं रुकेगा। तो हम लोग को उसको अवेकन भी करना है कि इसको लेने से क्या हानि है, क्या जनरेशन कैसे बर्बाद होगा, उसको भी हम लोग को पब्लिक को समझाना है कि नहीं लें। चेक तो एक बात है, प्रिवेंशन एक बात है, लेकिन लोगों को समझाना भी है कि इसको लेने से क्या हानि होगा। उसमें प्रयासरत हैं। कोई चीज़ तो एक दिन में ठीक होता नहीं है, सब लोग मिलकर हम लोग काम कर रहे हैं, देखते हैं कैसे हम लोग अचीव कर पाते हैं। धन्यवाद,
थैंक यू।
ये झारखंड जुडिशियल एकेडमी का चौथा रीजनल कॉन्फ्रेंस है। हम लोगों ने रीजनल कॉन्फ्रेंस के रूप में पूरे राज्य को 6 भागों में बांटा है। तो ये चौथा रीजनल कॉन्फ्रेंस था, जिसमें 3 डिस्ट्रिक्ट जमशेदपुर, चाईबासा और सरायकेला के न्यायिक पदाधिकारीगण और बार के मेंबर्स, पुलिस ऑफिसर्स, पब्लिक प्रोसिक्यूटर्स, पैनल लॉयर्स, सिविल सोसाइटी के पर्सन्स के साथ साथ हम लोगों ने लॉयला स्टूडेंट्स को बुलाया था। पर्पस ये था इस कार्यक्रम का कि अभी सत्येंद्र अंटिल वाले केस में एक डायरेक्शन आया है कि बेल कैसे अप्रिशिएट किया जाए। कुछ गाइडलाइंस हैं जिनके पर कि एक अवेयरनेस किया गया। एक अवेयरनेस जो है वो यहाँ कोटिक्स एनडीपीएस ये इन इश्यूज़ पर भी रखा गया था और यह कार्यक्रम पूरे दिन चला। इसमें रिसोर्स पर्सन्स के रूप में हमने ये डिस्ट्रिक्ट जज रिटायर्ड जेन बोरवालिया को बुलवाया था शिमला से, और एक कुशी कुशाल्पा ये हैं बेंगलोर से, जिन्होंने पॉक्सो एक्ट पर अपना मत रखा। और कार्यक्रम में मुख्य अतिथि हमारे मुख्य न्यायाधीश महोदय थे, जो कि आज ऑनलाइन जुड़े थे, और तीनों ही ज़िले के जो मतलब जोनल जजेज हैं हमारे, जस्टिस सुजीत नारायण प्रसाद साहब जो जमशेदपुर के जोनल जज हैं, जस्टिस भेंगरा साहब जो सरायकेला के जोनल जज हैं, और जस्टिस दीपक रोशन साहब जो चाईबासा के जोनल जज थे, उनके साथ साथ जस्टिस अंबुजनाथ सर भी एज ए रिसोर्स पर्सन आए थे, जिन्होंने बेल और रिमांड इशूज़ पर अपना ये व्यू रखा, और कुल मिलाजुला के ये कार्यक्रम आज सक्सेसफुल संवादित।
अपना परिचय सर।
मैं राजेश कुमार, एडिशनल डायरेक्टर जुडिशियल एकेडमी झारखंड। थैंक यू।
देश और देश के साथ, लोकतंत्र और लोकतंत्र में जीने वालों के साथ, पब्लिक और पब्लिक कंसर्न विषय वस्तुओं के साथ चल रहे उन सभी घटनाक्रमों को देखने के लिए इंडिया टीवी ऑनलाइन की वीडियो को लाइक करें, शेयर करें, सब्सक्राइब करें। नमस्कार। डॉक्टर